He thought he was invisible. A ghost boss who hadn't stepped foot in the office in 3 years, quietly slipping into our computers every night, digging through our search histories like some bargain bin detective. He thought we'd never find out. But the day I discovered his little secret was the day I decided to deliver the pettiest, most satisfying revenge of my entire career. And all it took was one search bar and one beautifully placed insult. If you've ever had a boss who underestimated you, someone who thought they could micromanage you from the shadows, hit that like button and subscribe, because what you're about to hear is a masterclass in subtle, delicious payback. I work in a tiny office, small enough that everyone knows everyone's business without even trying. But our boss, he wasn't part of that ecosystem. Not anymore. For 3 long years, he hadn't shown his face. Not once. No surprise Popeye-ness. No meetings. Not even a how's everyone doing in person. Instead, he ruled from the shadows of his home office, firing off cold, rigid emails like some corporate lighthouse that only turned on to signal storms. And the only person he actually talked to? Our office manager. She was our unofficial ambassador, our link between humanity and the man we jokingly called the Phantom. We weren't a dysfunctional team. In fact, all of us, including the office manager, had a pretty strong bond. We vented together. We laughed together. And when our boss sent one of his legendary complaint emails, we groaned together. So when the office manager gathered us one afternoon, closing the door behind her with a heavy sigh, we braced ourselves. She rubbed her forehead like she was trying to wipe away the stress before the words came out. His complaining again. Says everyone's spending too much time online for personal reasons. We stared at each other. How would he know? He's never here. That was when she told us. And it hit like ice water. He logs into your computers at night, after everyone goes home. He checks internet history. All of it. The room went dead silent. My stomach sank. Not because I'd done anything horrible, just the idea of someone pouring through your digital footprints, without telling you. It felt invasive, slimy, like someone rifling through your drawers while you sleep. Yes, legally, he could do it. His equipment, his rules. But morally, it was a quiet, sneaky way he hid it that bothered me. He didn't want to enforce professionalism. He wanted power he could enjoy secretly. And that was when something inside me flipped. The emotional turn. I didn't explode. I didn't rant. I didn't storm into anyone's office. Because, well, the man didn't even have one here anymore. But I felt something settle inside me. A tight, burning knot of irritation mixed with a sudden, crystal-clear realization. If he wanted to snoop, then I was going to give him something worth snooping on. Not anger. Not panic. Something far more dangerous. Petty inspiration. The plan starts forming. That night, lying in bed, I thought, if he enjoys looking through our private stuff, if he wants to catch us doing something wrong, if he wants us to feel watched, then maybe it was time to make the watcher feel something too. I wasn't going to break rules. I wasn't going to sabotage anything. I wasn't even going to confront him. No, I wanted something better. I wanted him to look at that screen and feel his lungs tight in the same way mine had. I wanted him to second-guess himself, question what he'd seen, wonder whether he'd pushed too far. And most importantly, I wanted him to think he was about to lose me. The petty execution begins. The next morning, I walked into the office with a calmness that could have fooled a lie detector. I sat down at my desk, opened the browser, and got to work. Not work, revenge work. For the next 8 hours, I searched for jobs. Every kind, every location, every salary range. I clicked on job boards like I was speed running unemployment. My heart raced every time I typed, not because I was scared, but because every keystroke felt like a breadcrumb he wouldn't be able to resist. Then I moved on. Average salary for my position in my region. Am I being underpaid? Signs your boss is toxic. How to negotiate salary. Oh, I painted a story. A beautiful digital story of a disgruntled employee ready to walk. I didn't clear a single thing. Not one tab. Not one search. Nothing. But it wasn't enough. I wanted a final touch. A signature. a little spark of boldness that would hit him right between the eyes. So before I packed up to leave for the day, I opened a fresh tab. I clicked into the search bar, and I typed, "Why is my boss such a censored insult?" A very colorful insult, a creative one, spicy enough to sting even through a screen. I didn't hit enter. I just left it open, waiting, glowing, practically humming with anticipation. Then I shut down my workstation like it was the most normal thing in the world and walked out. The waiting game. The next morning, every little vibration of my phone made my pulse skip. Not with fear, with excitement. I pictured him, sitting at home, logging into my computer, watching the mouse move, seeing the search history, seeing the job boards, seeing the salary comparisons. And then the final shot, the insult hanging like a neon sign. I imagined the way his jaw would clench, the way he'd adjust his glasses, the way he'd whisper, "What the?" For the first time, he was the one being watched, by his own paranoia. And then nothing happened. Not that day, not the next day. But 2 days later, everything changed. The email, it landed in my inbox mid-morning. A plain subject line. Update regarding your compensation. My breath caught. I clicked it open. Inside, one short paragraph. He had reviewed my performance. He appreciated my contributions. He had decided to give me a raise, effective immediately. No explanation, no meeting, no phone call. Just pure panic damage control wrapped in polite corporate phrasing. He wasn't stupid. He'd seen the job searches. He'd seen the salary comparisons. He'd seen the insult. And suddenly he was emotionally invested in keeping me around. All because he couldn't resist snooping. The shift at work. Word spread fast among the team. When the office manager heard, her eyebrows shot up. Out of nowhere. He didn't mention anything to me. I shrugged. Inside, I was glowing. She leaned closer. "Do you know why he did it?" I smiled. A small, secret, satisfied smile. No idea. I lied. But I think she knew there was more to the story. From that week on, every time I opened my browser for personal things, I wiped my history. Not because I feared him, but because the lesson had already been delivered. He'd stuck his hand into the beehive, and he'd gotten stung. The satisfaction. It wasn't grand. It wasn't dramatic. It didn't require lawsuits or confrontations. It was simple, petty, perfect. A small reminder that if you pry into people's lives when you shouldn't, you might just stumble onto something you didn't want to see. And sometimes, that's enough to change everything. This was the moment everything crystallized. He had logged in expecting to catch me doing something wrong. Instead, he found something far more unsettling. A quiet rebellion. A digital threat. A single question, unspoken but loud. Do you really understand how?